Hey, welcome to today's podcast. And in this video here, we're going to talk about the emotional inventory. 3 steps for the neurotypical wife to recover from Cassandra Syndrome burnout. Now, if you've ever thought, man, I'm exhausted from always being the grown-up, or why do I feel so resentful when I'm the one holding everything together, then this video is for you. One of my clients said this to me recently. I feel resentful that I have to be the grown-up in this relationship. That sentence carries so much weight, not because it's traumatic, not because it's ungrateful, but because it tells the truth about emotional depletion. And here's what I want to tell you clearly right from the start. Your exhaustion is not a character flaw, your resentment is not cruelty, and your burnout is not proof that you're failing as a wife. Instead, it's data. So today I'm going to walk you through a simple but powerful process I call the emotional inventory. It's a 3-step way to identify where you've been drained, what you've lost, and how to begin rebuilding an inner life that doesn't revolve around managing someone else. This is not about fixing your marriage today. This is about recovering you. Now, before we go any further, take a breath with me. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw. You don't have to perform here. You don't need to be reasonable. You're allowed to be honest. Let's talk about why NT burnout happens. Neurotypical burnout doesn't usually come from one big trauma. It comes from chronic emotional overfunctioning. Over time, many NT wives slide into roles they never agreed to. Emotional regulator, translator, social buffer, planner, anticipator of meltdowns, keeper of the relationship temperature. You become the person who notices the mood shifts, manages the conflict, smooths things over, holds the emotional map of the relationship, and slowly, quietly, you stop being a partner and start being the infrastructure. Now here's the dangerous part. You can do this for a long time and still look fine on the outside, but inside, something erodes. Joy fades, curiosity shrinks, resentment grows, desire disappears, and identity narrows. And eventually, your nervous system says, I can't keep doing this. That's burnout. Not because you're weak, but because no one can live indefinitely without being emotionally met. Which brings us to step 1. Name what you've been giving. An emotional inventory always starts with honesty, not action. I want you to ask yourself this question slowly. What am I regularly giving that is rarely replenished? Not what you should give, not what you wish you didn't have to give, but what you actually give. Here's some examples of what you might have been giving. Emotional reassurance, decision-making, conflict repair, empathy without reciprocity, sexual availability without emotional safety, flexibility without accommodation, understanding without being understood. Many NTYs realize something unsettling at this stage. They are pouring from an empty cup and have been for years. Now, if resentment is present, it's usually pointing here. Resentment is not the problem. Resentment is the receipt. Step number 2, grieve what you lost. This is the step most women skip and the one that keeps them stuck. You cannot rebuild your inner life without grieving what was sacrificed. And grief might include the version of yourself who laughed more, the hobbies you abandoned, the spontaneity that disappeared, the emotional intimacy you hoped would grow, the dream of mutual emotional leadership. And here's the hard truth. If you don't grieve those losses, you'll keep trying to get them back from the same place they were lost. Grief is not about blame. It's about acknowledging reality. You might say something along the lines of, I lost parts of myself trying to keep us stable, or I stopped needing because needing wasn't safe, or I became competent instead of alive. Now let those sentences land. Nothing moves forward until they do. Step 3, rebuild an inner life that doesn't depend on the marriage. This is where healing actually begins. Not with ultimatums, not with explanations, not with communication strategies, but with reclaiming your emotional sovereignty. You can ask yourself, If my relationship stayed exactly the same for the next 6 months, how would I nourish my inner life anyway? This might look like interests that belong only to you, friendships where you don't have to translate yourself, creative or intellectual outlets that wake you up, emotional expression that doesn't require permission, therapy or coaching focused on you, not fixing him. One of my clients told me recently, this is the first solution that rebuilds my inner life instead of asking me to sacrifice it. That's the point. When your life has depth outside the marriage, resentment loosens, clarity increases, decisions get calmer, boundaries become natural, and self-respect returns. And paradoxically, everything in the relationship becomes clearer too. Let me leave you with this. Being the grown-up in the relationship isn't sustainable if it costs you your identity. You're not here to disappear quietly while keeping everything functional. Start with the inventory. Name what's been given. Grieve what was lost. Rebuild what is yours. Not to punish anyone, not to force change, but to come back to yourself. Now, if this resonated, subscribe, share it with someone who feels invisible, and leave a comment with the word inventory if you want more content like this. You're not broken, you're depleted. And depletion can be healed. And know that I read and respond to all your comments. I'll look forward to reading yours. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Hey, this is Mark Hutten. Would you like to schedule a one-on-one Zoom call? Okay, it's so simple. Just look under any of my videos in the description area. Click on this Calendly link. Now you see my calendar. Pick your month, your day, anytime that's available. Enter your name and email address. Then you'll get a follow-up email with the Zoom link on the day and time that you picked. And voila, we will talk.